And the weather is heating up to the mid-80s on a glorious Friday afternoon in May. And with the weather heating up, the atmosphere on the field is heating up as well as we prepare for the Class B state championship game between the Gretna East Griffins and the Norris Titans. Norris trying to right its wrongs as it has made it to 5 state championship games since its last title in 2013, but have lost them all. Most recently, though, last season they lost to Elkhorn North in the title game. The Titans look for retribution this year in what would be the perfect achievement to an incredible season. Coach Sean Bartholomew says his team wants to bring home a different color of silverware tonight. Not silver, but gold. Gretna East, on the other hand, has had a magnificent first season as a school. The $210 million school project has paid off, well, at least in the baseball department, with some of these players already experienced at the state level, transferring from a state tournament Gretna High program. They are looking to finish off this fabled season and lift the trophy this year, and they hope for many more years to come. This is the state championship game, and it's right here on Ole Red 99.5. And welcome to the broadcast. I'm Kyle Mathas, live here from Werner Park in Omaha. It's a beautiful day, like I said, and it's just getting even better. The wind blowing just a tad from right to left, and the sun is out and shining on the field. Gretna East and Norris here in the state championship game. Now these teams, their road to the big game has been, well, undefeated for both of them. Gretna East came into this tournament as the 3 seed, and they took down Plattsmouth on a walk-off 5-4 last Saturday. They proceeded to beat Elkhorn North, the defending state champions, on Monday 3-1. And then they took down Blair on Wednesday, and only one game to be played in that one, 5-0 in a shutout. Norris, on the other hand, beat Lincoln Northwest 13-2 last Saturday at Werner Park. They took down Waverly on Monday 13-6, another blowout win. Their game on Wednesday, though, their win against Lincoln Northwest was a little closer, a 4-3 win, and that kind of matches these teams together here for the state championship game. Both of these teams undefeated, both of these teams playing 3 games so far in the state tournament, so they've played even games, they've had even amount of rests, and this one should be an absolute blast. The Griffins and the Titans here on Ole Red 99.5, the Class B state championship game, and we just had an absolutely incredible game. Also, before this game, it was Malcolm taking down Mount Michael Benedictine 3-2 on a walk-off RBI single to win the state title. So if that's any indication as to how good this one could be, we're hoping that we'll be in store for a treat here in the Class B title, as the Class C title was just as good. Well, we'll have an interview here with Coach Sean Bartholomew coming up. This one should be an absolute blast of a game as we get closer and closer to first pitch here from Werner Park in the Class B state championship game. Welcome back to Werner Park here in Omaha, Nebraska. It's time for the state championship game here on Ole Red 99.5. Number 3, Gretna East, the Griffins, in their first season as a program and their first year as a school after they were built and finished last summer, as they go up against the number 1 seeded Norris Titans, who have only won 1 state championship in their team history back in 2013, but they have made it to 13 straight state tournament appearances. This would be their 6th state title appearance in the last 10 or 11 seasons, I should say. Let's go through the coaches here for both teams as we are just waiting for the national anthem to be played and then the starting lineups to be announced. But head coach here for Gretna East is Daryl Everhart. Coach Everhart has 30-plus years of experience in baseball. Played as a middle infielder at Iowa State. He also played in the minor leagues, independent leagues, and is now the head coach for one of those teams. He coached the U.S. Navy and Military All-Star Baseball team and the USA International Baseball team that did the Dominican Republic tour. He is also a 25-year retired captain in the U.S. Navy and has a master's degree from the University of Missouri. He's also the director of Military and Veteran Success Career at UNL. Meanwhile, let's look at Coach Sean Bartholomew. He took over in 2017 for Norris. He's a PE teacher for the intermediate school, advisory member of the Norris Baseball Association Board, and back just a few seasons ago in April of 2022, he won his 100th career game as a coach with the win over Blair. So those are the 2 coaches. Gretna East 20-7 on the season. Remember, this is their first season as a team. So they're just starting out. They got a lot of transfers from Gretna High School, but a lot of them, since the seniors at Gretna High couldn't transfer, they had to get sophomores and juniors, and their entire team is is comprised of juniors and sophomores, not a single senior on the roster for the Griffins so far, so they're going to be quite good next year, even if they can't finish the job this year. Gretna East, in their first 10 games as a program, went 10-0. They did not lose a game to start their program in their program's history. Well, since then, it's been a little rougher for them. They went on a 2-game losing streak, a 3-game losing streak, another 2-game losing streak, or those losses were to Norris earlier on in the season. But they're coming into this game on a 6-game winning streak, are the Griffins. Meanwhile, Norris is the 1 seed, coming into this game 24-5. They made the state tournament in the last 13 seasons, made the state championship game last year before losing 2-1 to Elkhorn North, who, funny enough, Gretna East actually beat this year. And Norris did not have a good start to the season, up to their standards at least. They lost the first 2 of 3 games to start the season, the Titans did. But since then, they have been really, really, really good. And right now, Norris has now won 22 of their last 25 games that they've played this season. After starting 1-2, they've won 22 of the last 25. That is quite impressive from this Norris team. And currently, Norris is on a 4-game winning streak. Obviously, both of these teams have to be on a 3-game winning streak to get here undefeated. But Norris lost to Elkhorn North 2 games before the end of the season, but beat Elkhorn in the district final to get here. Meanwhile, Gretna East beat Omaha Northwest, Ralston, and North Platte to get here. Well, we're just waiting now for the announcement of the starting lineups. I can't quite tell what's happening. All 4 umpires are standing down near the home plate area, but all of the teams have not actually come out of their dugouts yet. Norris, I believe, yes, Norris as being the 1 seed is going to be the team that bats in the bottom of the first. I actually want to mention right now, one thing about Norris that just would make people pretty confident, but some people that maybe don't listen to sports too often a little confused, is that right now Norris is out on the field, and they were doing this way before the game started, about an hour and 15 minutes before the game started. Norris is right now out on the field tossing a football around. So they're playing football, they're playing catch. One guy just jumped in front of his teammate to try to intercept the pass, and they're just throwing the football around. They look loose out there. The entire team is practically coming out right now and playing football. I mean, right now from what I can see and count, I can count 6 Norris Titans out there right now playing football. And I'm not going to lie, they have some good spirals on those throws. So Norris just seems to be loose out there. Gretna East is in the dugout right now. They're just waiting in there. They're waiting and standing. So a lot of it looks like just different mindsets right now for both teams. Norris, they look focused, but also they've been in these situations before. They've been in the title game last year. They've made it for 13 straight seasons to the state tournament. Gretna East, on the other hand, like I said, some players from Gretna High School transferred to Gretna East, since this is Gretna East's first year as a school. Some of them transferred from Gretna High, and funny enough, some of them actually played in the state tournament last season at Gretna High. And some of the players did, and Gretna High last year, they went 2-out. They lost 2 games, like you all know listening at home. It's a double elimination bracket, so you lose 2 games and you're out. Well, Gretna High School failed to win any games last year, losing in the first 2 games to Creighton Preparatory and then Grand Island. They were eliminated immediately. But Gretna East has won 8 of their last 10 matchups. Gretna East is 6-5 this season against state tournament teams in all classes. Norris, meanwhile, on the other hand, against all tournament teams, are 10-4. Norris did beat Gretna East when they previously met up earlier on in the season, but Coach Sean Bartholomew, as you heard in the interview, said that game is not going to be a factor at all. Nobody's going to be paying attention to that game, even though it was about probably a little more than a month ago. It wasn't too long ago, but these teams are completely different at this point coming into this match, and it's going to be quite something as Norris beat Gretna East 10-3 on the road in Gretna last time they met. Well, Class C was quite the game. Malcolm beating Mount Michael Benedictine on a walk-off RBI single to win the Class C title. Will this game be just as good? We hope so. Gretna East and Norris here in Class B. Class A is right after this at 7 p.m. between Millard West and Lincoln East. Well, right now, the teams have lined up along the third base foul line and the first base foul line, and they're just waiting right now, as I think the starting lineups will be announced pretty soon. We'll take one more break, and then we will bring it back for the first pitch between Gretna East and Norris on All Red. Welcome back to the NSAA Class B State Championship game here on All Red 99.5. I'm Kyle Mathas, live from Warner Park. Beautiful, beautiful day. It's sunny. It's in the lower 80s at the moment. Supposed to get up to the mid 80s by the end of this game. But it's a little bit windy as well. Not too bad, but the wind is blowing from right field to left field if that ends up becoming a factor on some of these fly balls out into the outfield. It's time to look at the starting lineups, and we'll start with the Gretna East Griffins, the 3 seed, undefeated currently heading into this game with some big wins on their road to the championship game over Plattsmouth, Elkhorn North, and Blair. Leading off for the Griffins is Tyler Cox, the second baseman. Easton Leahy, the DH, bats second. Nolan Green is the shortstop, batting third. Carson Herman is the catcher, batting in the cleanup spot. Karen Boswell will bat fifth in the right field position. In center field, Jensen Albers is batting sixth. Tanner Erdkamp, the third baseman, batting seventh. Colton Nicholson, the first baseman, is batting eighth. And Seth Kragel, who is playing out in left field, will bat ninth. Trevor Cox is on the mound. I'll have a little more on him when Norris comes up to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look now at Norris and their defensive lineup. Colton Homolka is on the mound. We'll have a little more on him in just a minute. Behind the plate. Now, I want to mention this actually before I continue. There have been a lot of defensive changes from that game on Wednesday, so just be ready for maybe a little bit of a surprise for some of these. So Logan Michael was in the catcher position on Wednesday. Alex Small comes from third base and now will be playing catcher today. Bryce Fountain stays at first. Logan White is playing in second base today. He was the DH on Wednesday. Cale Fountain is still in shortstop. Crew Muller, who was playing in right field on Wednesday, plays third base this time. Jordan Monroe stays in left. John Hood stays in center field. And Logan Michael is in right field in place of Crew Muller, who played right field on Wednesday. Interestingly enough, Brody Hoover was the second baseman on Wednesday. Brody is the DH today for Norris. Defensively, he will not be out there defensively, despite making some big plays at second base in that win over Lincoln Northwest on Wednesday. Well, they're currently still announcing the lineups here they just ended with Gretna East. They're going through Norris right now. Gretna East, in the 6 teams overall that have made the state championship game this season, they're 1-1 against teams in the state championship games across all classes. Obviously, they lost to Norris earlier on in the season, 10-3. Norris, obviously, in Class B. But they did beat Mount Michael Benedictine, who just played in the Class C championship. They beat him earlier this year, so they're 1-1 against teams in the title game this season. Norris, on the other hand, they're also 1-1 against teams in the title game across all classes this season. Obviously, they beat Gretna East earlier on, playing Gretna here in Class B, but they did lose to Lincoln East earlier on in the season as well. Lincoln East is playing in Class A in the Class A title against Millard South right after this at 7 p.m. So both of these teams have played some teams that are playing in championship games from other classes, but they won't care about that for now. They just want to get a win here and win the state championship. Gretna East opened the doors to its school in August last year of 2023. It's the first year of this school being in classes. Second school in Gretna, though. Gretna High is still a thing. And a lot of the Gretna High players that were freshmen and sophomores that season last year when they made state transferred to Gretna East, and look at what they've done already. They're making it to the state championship game in their first ever game, or first ever season, I should say, as a program. And this team had quite the win last Saturday against Plattsmouth to open up their state tournament history. In their first ever state championship, or their state tournament game, Gretna East beat Plattsmouth on a walk-off, 5-4. How about that for your first state tournament win in program history? What a way to get it. Meanwhile, for Norris, obviously they've been here for the last 13 seasons. They've made it 13 straight seasons. They won the title in 2013 when they took down Pius X 3-2. But since then, they've lost in 5 championship games. They lost 2015 to Pius X 6-3. Lost to Scott Catholic in 2017 in 12 innings, 6-3. lost a year later in 18 to Roncalli Catholic 5-4. Lost to Beatrice in 2021 5-4, and last year they lost to Elkhorn North 2-1. Could this be the season that things changed for Norris and they finally, after 11 years, finish the job and get a state championship once again? It would be their second in team history. Well, currently they just finished announcing the starting lineups. This game was supposed to be starting at 3:30. Right now, 10 minutes late. But they're about to get started here with the first pitch from one of the workers here at the ballpark, and then the team should go out on the field and should be ready to get started. But let's go through the starter on the mound for Norris. Colton Homolka is starting on the mound today for Norris, and he's had a pretty good season so far. But we'll go through what he's done as an individual on an individual level first. He was named to the Central City Dean's List, and he committed to Southeast Community College to play baseball. So he will be playing baseball at the next level, Homolka. He won the Council Norris Volleyball Tournament back in February. And this guy is trying to make an impact in his final game as a Norris Titan before he heads and plays at Southeast Community College to play baseball. He's on the mound here for Norris. And Homolka with a 4-0 undefeated record this season, a 2.35 ERA. This kid is good on the mound. As we see both coaches meet at home plate to talk with the umpires before the game. That means that we're about as close to start this game as we can be at the moment. But Homolka on the mound. This kid is going to be a collegiate athlete playing baseball in just a few more months. Like a lot of the players here on this Norris squad, including the Fountain brothers with Nebraska and LSU and a few other guys too. I want to mention that Norris right now, I mean, we're just waiting for the coaches to talk to the umpires here and just get things figured out, but there still are Norris players. Actually, it's funny enough, Colton Homolka that is actually throwing the football around out there on the field right next to his dugout. So he's probably just warming up his arm by throwing the football. So we'll take one more 30-second break as we wait for this game to begin. Gretna East versus Norris here on Old Red will begin when we come back from this 30-second commercial break. All right, welcome back to the NSA State Baseball Tournament. Norris has taken the field, and they're ready to get things started here defensively as they'll go up against Gretna East here. Gretna East, and they're all black uniforms with yellow stripes and yellow numbers and letters. Norris in their all-white home uniforms with those navy blue caps. We're finally ready to get this game underway after long days of anticipation for these two programs. This game, before we get started, is brought to you by Titan Nutrition in downtown Hickman, Crete Area Medical Center, Wilbur and Friend Medical Clinics, Smith Auto in Pawnee City, learn more at smithautoany.com, Friend Fertilizer, your Ranky dealer and friend, Jonna Austin, your shelter insurance agents in Fairbury, and Complete Insurance is proud to support the Norris Titans. All right, so now we just wait until the Tyler Cox comes up to hit first. His brother Trevor is on the mound today for Gretna East, but Tyler Cox, the second baseman, will lead things off this afternoon here from Warner Park, home of the Omaha Storm Chasers, the Kansas City Royals, their minor league team. So we see Homolka on the mound warming up now with a baseball, no longer a football. He'll have Alex Small behind the plate today, unlike Logan Michael, who was behind the plate on Wednesday. And Michael was also behind the plate on Monday as well. So Alex Small made some big plays defensively at third base on Monday and Wednesday. But I think the biggest play that he made, and something that Coach Bartholomew mentioned in the pregame interview, is that two-run RBI single that he hit with 2 outs in the fourth inning to tie up the game against Lincoln Northwest after trailing 3-0. Norris scored 3 unanswered runs in the fourth to tie the game at 3 against Lincoln Northwest, and then they won it with a final run in the fifth to take a 4-3 lead and win, advancing to the state championship game. We're finally underway here, or I should say we're finally close to underway. Tyler Cox, the leadoff man for Gretna East, is out there the righty, will get things started here in the state championship game. We're glad you're with us here on All Red. Here we go. Swing and a miss on the first pitch by Homolka, fastball. Tyler Cox is the brother of Trevor Cox, who's the starting pitcher today for the Griffins. Played for the youth team in Gretna. Used to play baseball at Gretna High with his brother. Takes one outside and away for ball one. 1-1 is the count. Played a prep baseball tournament. Played for the Legion team as well. So obviously has a lot of experience playing before the high school level. 1-1. High and away. 2-1 is the count. A lot of the Norris pitchers coming into this tournament with an undefeated record. Homolka is one of them. This one's cracked, and that's right through the gap in between short and third, and a base hit for Tyler Cox to lead things off. That's a great start and a great way to calm the nerves for Gretna East. No seniors on this team, only sophomores and juniors playing in this game. And Tyler Cox gets things started. He does have experience along with his brother Trevor. They played in the state tournament last season for Gretna High, despite losing both games to start the tournament. Now they're in the title game, and it's a base hit into left field to get things started. So runner on first now for Gretna East as it's Easton Leahy coming up to bat. He shows bunt, bunts it straight back to Homolka. Picks it up, throws it to first, makes the play for the first out. But Leahy does his job. The DH advances the runner from first to second as Tyler Cox is now standing in scoring position on second base. But a heads-up play there from Colton Homolka to be ready for that sacrifice bunt as Leahy's down immediately. Here's Nolan Green playing shortstop today. Green uncommitted for now, but plays for the 402 Express travel baseball team. His college interests include the Kansas Jayhawks, University of Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri University, Missouri State, UNO, and UNL. Takes a nice pitch down the middle for strike one to Nolan Green. So runner on second base with one out. No score at the top of the first inning. And the state championship game. We had a great game in the Class C title game right before this. A walk-off for the title. This is grounded to second base. Logan White's got it. Throws it to Homolka, who makes the trip from the mound to first. He makes the play. Advancing, though, from second to third is Tyler Cox. And immediately, 90 feet away from home plate, Gretna East has a runner. Trying to get the Griffins in the lead. But there's two outs. And here is Carson Herman, the cleanup hitter. Herman played for the basketball team as well. Averaged 6.1 points per game this season, going 7-17 in the Griffins' first year as a basketball program. First pitch for Homolka. Curves in there to the righty. Strike one. You got Karen Boswell, who is on deck for Gretna East. Two down. No balls and a strike. Homolka delivers, and that is a wonderful pitch. Off speed and in there for strike two. 0-2. And the Norris crowd trying to get loud here. Trying to will their team on to get through this inning with no runs allowed. No balls and two strikes. Runner on third. Here's the pitch. Chopped high in the air. Homolka makes the catch on the mound, and Homolka getting hype there. Same with his dugout. Coming out to meet him. Gretna East leaves a runner stranded on third base, and there's no score as Norris survives the early Gretna East pressure. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning. Leading off for Norris will be Logan Michael when we return on All Red. All right, welcome back to the NSAA State Baseball Championship game brought to you by Prairie View Industries, North Highway 15 in Fairbury. Tim Hartley with Hebron Tree Service, Thayer County Health Services, and Hebron Brooding, Davenport and Deschler, and Southeast Valley Irrigation, your Valley dealer in Bruning. It's time to look at the starting lineup for the Norris Titans. Logan Michael leads things off, playing out in right field. Cale Fountain bats second, playing in the shortstop position. Jordan Monroe bats third, playing in left. Crew Moeller, the third baseman, is a cleanup hitter. Logan White bats fifth. He's playing second base today. Brody Hoover, the DH, bats sixth. John Hood batting seventh. He's playing in center. Bryce Fountain, the first baseman, batting eighth. And Alex Small, once again at the bottom of the order, playing the catcher position today. But Alex Small has proven that he is a good player to have at the bottom of the order, something that we talked about in the pregame interview before between me and Coach Bartholomew. Trevor Cox is the starting pitcher for Gretna East. And Trevor, the junior, coming into this game with a 3.21 record, 3.40 ERA, transferred from Gretna High. He used to play there with his brother Tyler. And Trevor Cox was actually the WOWT Athlete of the Week last week, which is a news station. He was the athlete. He was picked as the Athlete of the Week and had a great game last Saturday against Plattsmouth in that opening game of this tournament. 7 strikeout performance last Saturday for Trevor. Pitch up high, ball 1 to Logan Michael, who leads things off for Norris here in the bottom of the first inning. No score. Second pitch on the 1-0. Inside, 2-0. Logan Michael going 1 for 3 against Lincoln Northwest Wednesday. Hit by pitch once, got a single. Cale Fountain is on deck. Cale Fountain didn't have the best game. We'll get more into him in a minute. That pitch is just high to the lefty Michael for ball 3. It's a 3-0 hitter's count. Usually we'll see batters just take this next pitch to see if the pitcher can throw a strike. And he does. He takes the pitch. Trevor Cox responds with a strike, and it's 3 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Michael, and that goes past the glove of Carson Herman, the catcher, for ball 4. It's a 5-pitch walk, and Norris has a runner on first base with no outs. So let's go through the Gretna East defensive lineup. Trevor Cox on the mound. Carson Herman is behind the plate. Colton Nicholson playing first. Tyler Cox, his brother, the brother of Trevor, playing at second. Nolan Green short. Tanner Urkamp is playing third. Out in the outfield, Seth Kragel is the left fielder. Jensen Albers is the center fielder. And Karen Boswell is the right fielder. Easton Leahy is the designated hitter. Immediately, Trevor Cox feels the pressure of Logan Michael over at first and checks on him. Michael's in there safely. Cale Fountain went 0 for 4 against Lincoln Northwest on Wednesday. Not the typical game you'll see out of a guy that will be playing for the LSU Tigers in just a few months. First pitch down low, though, below the knees for ball 1 to Fountain. 1 ball, no strikes. Michael looks like he's going to take off. Doesn't. Pitch down low in the dirt for ball 2. The Fountain brothers, Cale and Bryce, growing up in a baseball family. And both of them will be going and playing collegiate baseball. Cale at the Division I level. And one thing he said is that he wants to bring a title to Norris before he leaves. He loves his program. He loves the town. He loves the community. 2-0 is the count. Up high, 3-0. Well, in 8 pitches thrown in this game so far by Trevor Cox, 7 of them have been balls. 1 has been a strike. Will this be the second straight walk? The 3-0. And finally gets one in there for strike 1, 3-1. Jordan Monroe is on deck. Monroe going 1 for 3 with a double on Wednesday. 3 balls, 1 strike, the pitch. Fountain grounds one through the hole, and that's going to be a base hit into left field for Cale Fountain. So Fountain, after going 0 for 4 on Wednesday with a base hit ground ball right between Nolan Green and Tanner Urkamp. And it's 2 on, no outs for Norris. Here's Jordan Monroe. Logan Michael is at second. Cale Fountain is at first. And the lefty, Jordan Monroe, comes up to bat. Like I said, 1 for 3. Drew a walk, got a double, scored a run on Wednesday against Lincoln Northwest. Was part of the 4th inning spurt that Norris had to tie the game. Shows bunt, bunts it straight back to Trevor Cox. Trevor Cox has trouble fielding it. And it's a bunt to get on base for Jordan Monroe. No outs. Bases loaded for the Titans here in the bottom of the first. And we're going to get an immediate mound visit here. Immediately by Daryl Everhart of Gretna East. He's going to visit the mound and try to calm down his starting pitcher. This has been arguably one of the worst starts for Gretna East the entire season. They've been pretty good all year with how they've started the game, but I don't think a nightmare last night could have been worse than this start for Daryl Everhart. Bases loaded, no outs. And Norris trying to get off to a flying start here in the bottom of the first inning with no score. Thank you to our sponsors who sponsor this game. Certified Truck and Trailer Repair in Geneva, Kennel Seed and Ag in Davenport, Satt Brothers of Philly, Crete, Lincoln, and Hanover, Kansas, and Crete Ace Harbor, the help for Harbor Place. And Currency makes financing quick, easy, and secure for heavy machinery, ag equipment, trucks, trailers, and more. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. If you're tuning in for the state track updates from our local participants, at the top of the next hour, which is in about 5 minutes. So we should have one coming up pretty soon. We'll have a state track update on our next break from our local participants. For now, though, it's Crew Moeller, the cleanup spot. This was the starting pitcher on Monday against Waverly, trying to bring home a couple runs here. The pitch. Moeller, high fly ball into left field and deep. This one's back and goes over the head of Seth Craigle, the left fielder. Rounding third and coming home is going to be Michael. Fountain's right behind him. Here comes Jordan Monroe. He's safe at the plate. Crew Moeller, 3-run RBI triple. Norris, 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Unbelievable start for the Titans. Crew Moeller with an incredible base hit. A triple. And for Moeller, that's his first triple of the season. Gets RBIs number 24, 25, and 26. 3-0 Norris in the bottom of the first, and still nobody out as Logan White comes to the plate. First pitch to White. Oh, he swung on and missed that one. He was trying to do exactly what Moeller did and try to crack one on the first pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-1 is the count. This is not the start that Trevor Cox would have wanted. 7 strikeouts against Plattsmouth on Saturday last week. And a high fly ball into left center. This one's deep. Back at the wall. It hits the wall. Scoring from third is Crew Moeller. Going to second base, standing up is Logan White. 4-0 Norris in the bottom of the first inning. And I hope you can hear that at home. Norris fans have made their presence felt here so far. A 1-run RBI double for Norris. Logan White delivers. Tyler Cox, the brother of Trevor, comes from second base to pat his brother on the back, trying to calm him down. Still no outs. Norris has scored 4 runs. Brody Hoover comes up to the plate, the righty, with a runner on second base. And Hoover swings and misses at a off-speed pitch, down and out. 0-1. Hoover going 2 for 3 on Wednesday with 2 singles and a run scored. Great game from Hoover. He was actually one of the players of the game for Norris. Hoover grounds one straight down the first baseline and foul. But if that one went all the way, now the dimensions are kind of weird here at Werner Park. The stands make the wall jut out down the right field foul line, so it's going to be easier for the right fielder to make the play if there is one that goes fair and goes into foul territory. It's going to make things for the right fielder quicker and easier. Trevor Cox steps off the mound and waits a little longer for this no ball, 2-strike pitch. Sean Bartholomew motions something to Logan White at second. Maybe asking him to use his head just in case a fly ball is caught. That pitch down low for a ball. A ball and 2 strikes. Still no outs. Norris up 4-0 over Gretna East here in the state championship game. So 1-2. The pitch. Foul tipped. Hoover. That was close. Carson Herman almost had his glove on it, but it's foul tipped, and Hoover stays alive in the count. Like I said in every other broadcast, Hoover's a guy that didn't play an ounce of varsity baseball last year. Only JV. Got his first hit as a varsity player against Beatrice this season, and said that it lit a fire in him to do better. Swing and a miss, though. And a strikeout for Trevor Cox on the 1-2 pitch. So there's one down here in the bottom of the first. And here comes John Hood, the 7-hole hitter for Norris in this game. John Hood going 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice, but was hit by a pitch 2 times against Lincoln Northwest on Wednesday. The righty digs into the batter's box, takes the first pitch. Down and outside, 1-0. What a start for Norris, though. Perfect start to this game for the Titans. 1-0. Trevor Cox checks on Logan White at second. And gets one in there for strike one, John Hood. John Hood, wide receiver and cornerback for the football team. One of the first guys this winter to hit over 90 exit velocity. Here's the 1-1 with one out. That one was supposed to curve down, but was high, and it's 2-1. Bryce Fountain, the Nebraska commit, is on deck for Norris. He'll be hoping he can come up to the plate with two on and only one out. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Ooh, swing and a miss. Fanned on that one, Hood. That one was down and away again. That's one thing that Trevor Cox is doing pretty well so far in this game. Those pitches that go down and away from the batter, he's getting a lot of swings and misses from those. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Norris up 4-0, bottom of the first. Here's the pitch from Trevor Cox to John Hood. On the way. Down and away. Did not get Hood to bite this time, and it's a full count, 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. John Hood with his pink and blue bat gets into position. 3-2, and Trevor Cox looked like he was going to throw it. Stepped off the last second to check on Logan White over at second base. Well, the fans have filled this place pretty good here, both sides. Gretna East fans over to my right, Norris fans to my left. Full count pitch here from Trevor Cox on the way. Oh, what a pitch. Inside with the fastball, swing and a miss by John Hood. And back-to-back strikeouts for Trevor Cox. Seems like he just had a little bit of a shaky start, but now he's starting to find his footing. 7 strikeouts against Plattsmouth last Saturday in his last start, which was the first round of the tournament. 2 strikeouts here back-to-back here against Norris. First pitch to Bryce Fountain. Hit out into right center. This one's going to drop. It's going to drop right in front of Karen Boswell. Rounding third and coming home is Logan White. And Bryce Fountain on the first pitch of the at-bat has a 1-run RBI single. 5-0 Norris. It just looked so simple for Bryce Fountain. He was standing there in the on-deck circle, just watching the last at-bat unfold. Saw a lot of pitches down and away and just attacked the first pitch right in front of Karen Boswell, the right fielder. 5-0 Norris. And here's Alex Small, the 9-hole hitter. Norris has almost went through the entire lineup in the first inning. 5-0. First pitch to Small, outside to the righty for ball 1. Alex Small, arguably one of the players of the game. He does play for the basketball team, but against Lincoln Northwest on Wednesday, went 1 for 2 with the biggest double of the game, and cracks one right over the head of the second baseman, Tyler Cox, into center field, and it's going to be a base hit. Alex Small drives for second base. He's out. It was Bryce Fountain going to third. Alex Small tried to attack second base, but he was caught. Probably shouldn't have done that. And that's the third out. Could have been dangerous for Gretna East. But Norris has scored 5 runs, and they lead at 5-0 over Gretna East through the first inning. We'll head to the second right after this on All Red.